If you haven't already guessed it, most of our lives aren't always very exciting. Not every day do you live on the fun, fast pace of life. Not every day is sunshine and beautiful rainbows. Not every day do you feel like you're being productive and living out of your God-given purpose, if you know what it is for the matter. Unfortunately, in the bloom of social media, we're constantly bombarded and exposed to what image our lives should look like. And, well, everything that our lives are not. The sky is always going to be blue, but why are you?
Hi, my name is Tumo and I am a teenager crazy about Jesus and just ready to share about his life, his story, and how he's changed mine.
It's okay, me. I love you, okay? Go. She's gorgeous, dude.
Okay, let's actually talk about this. The aesthetic breakfasts, the summer bodies, the Instagram-worthy pictures, and the picture-perfect aspects of life. Yeah, those are most often things that we seek and want and would love to experience, but how exactly should a Christian be putting those aspects into the proper image that it should be?
So I accidentally cracked the egg and I didn't want it to be this way. I'm sorry.
Now, disclaimer, am I saying that the healthier outcomes and inspirations of wanting a better life are wrong? No. In fact, God wants you to live a healthier, more prosperous life more than you probably wanted.
Jules, we gotta go, man. We gotta go. We gotta go, Jules. We gotta go.
However, just as there's always a right way of approaching a certain thing, so is it on your view and outcome of life. The thing is that what the world portrays as being very happy and full of life and prosperous in most cases isn't always what it seems. In many cases, when we try to achieve or to get the joy and the prosperity that the world offers, we end up having to pay much more than we want to pay, we go further than we think we'd go, and we stay longer than we actually want to stay. But as a believer, we are invited to live in a completely contrary way than what the rest of the world lives. Our joy doesn't come from the outside in, but it comes from the inside out. You could be living in love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faith, gentleness, and self-control in the very moments when you feel like you're the exact opposite of those very verses. So as believers, we have good news to share with the world. Too good to be true type of news, if you ask me. And we have an exciting future that awaits us even after this world. But not to get ahead of myself, we have a future to look forward to even in our lifetime. In times of struggle, pain, and persecution, we're in a position where we don't have to react in the same way the world would react. In fact, in times of struggles, we can be kept in perfect peace when our mind is focused on God. You can be a light to people around you when all seems too dark to see any further. You are more different than you think you are. Now, not everyone is called to be a Billy Graham, but we all have something that God has given us the ability to do. And the even better thing about this is that when God gives you a calling, or He reveals that calling to you, He isn't asking you to bring that to pass by yourself. No, He just needs your cooperation and your willingness to work alongside with Him. And once you start doing it together, that is where the beauty of this relationship starts blooming. You're not doing it alone. It's not of you, but it's literally God working through you and using you in such awesome ways that you'll probably be surprised by what you can do with Christ. Our lives reflect a light that comes from deep inside. It's something that's constant, something that people who don't know or understand the light will find confusing. Our aesthetic first begins in our hearts, the renewing and the changing of your mind, and once it gets outside, that glow is beyond the limited space of fame and glam. It is a satisfaction of being fully quenched of your thirst. Whether you're on camera or not, your joy isn't based on the situation outside.
My brother says there's someone at the door and it's my dad, and he didn't know it was him. And I got so scared.
Well then, what should the Christian life look like? And above all and all of the above, your relationship with God is the center of all of this. It's about knowing God personally and not just knowing about Him. Imagine if people only spent time with you because they felt obligated to. How would you feel about that? And too often, this is how we approach God. We feel like He's going to get mad at us if we don't read the Word for 3 hours straight, or if we don't fast every week. It's like a whole to-do list to please Him. Tip: He's already pleased with you. Jesus made sure of it. Your time with God should be out of love and wanting to know Him better. Now this takes time and effort, but it's not hard. Have I gotten this area of my life perfectly? No. And a quote by Thomas E. McDaniels is that, "I haven't arrived yet, but I have left." My main point is that the Christian life is filled with learning. We're always learning. It doesn't end when you're born again, or when you get baptized, or when you've read through the entire Bible. It's a continuous journey of learning. Learning about Jesus, about who you are in Him, learning how to love those who treat you badly, learning to not throw your keys at another driver because of road rage, learning to listen, how to love, what love truly is, how to be a friend. A third of us is filled wall to wall with the Holy Spirit.
Looks like chocolate chips.
In terms of the world around us, we kind of have an unfair advantage because we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. We know that all things work together for the good of them that love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. The only limit, or the limits that we choose to accept in terms of the plans that God has for our lives. I once heard this quote that goes, "It's hard to be spiritually fit or spiritually in shape if you only work out on Sunday." Our walk with Jesus is a process, and shortcuts don't work. If anything, they probably set you back. And we're in such a fortunate position because there are so many ways that we can learn and grow today. There's literally Bible audio apps. There's teachings that can help you when you feel like you just don't understand the Word. Or maybe if you grew up with the wrong types of interpretations of God's true nature. There's teachings from ministers who don't want you to make the major mistakes that they've made. We have to make the decisions every day. And note, you're going to make mistakes, but that's where the beauty of renewing our minds and learning about God comes in. Eventually, our thoughts are going to start changing. The way we think, the way we act, the way we approach things are going to start changing. It won't always be the way that it is right now. Even in those moments, God still loves you, and there's nothing inside or outside our universe that can change that. Even messing up, that shouldn't hold you back from living out the good life. The sky is always going to be blue, but you don't have to be blue too. You don't have to be stuck in the way life is right now.
Oh, and it's so beautiful.
You're one day closer.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very